be quiet. Don't do anything. It's
Yeah.
not going to be good. And a
Yeah.
part of me, like, I need to follow that. I need to pass. I need to get that degree. I need to have money. I need to be smart. But then the other part of me, like, these are who's teaching us.
FIFA podcast. This is number 6 with none other than Arielle, who I met in meeting Ben Shapiro in Stanford University when he had a talk and everything got crazy and people started chanting. And I think you were there where the protesters were actually, right?
Yeah, I was right next to him in that line. It took a lot not to just go after him.
Did you know
I
that
think,
they were going to do that? Did you know?
well, it was supposed to be silent. It was a silent protest. Little did I
Oh,
know they were going to bring a boombox and
mm,
microphones and all these signs. One lady came up to the one line putting lights in their eyes, trying to record them.
yeah.
It, I knew it was gonna. I knew there was gonna be a protest, but I don't think they knew the definition of silent. If that,
Yeah.
it was fun though.
For real, I don't always agree with him, to be honest, but I
Hmm.
really look up to him as a person because when he does make sense, it just resonates really, really well.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so, I mean, I wanted to talk about your path on being conservative. Were you always conservative? How did that come to be? And why do you believe in this side of the political spectrum?
Well, I don't know if I was always conservative. I was raised in a household that didn't talk too much politics because I we I knew my parents talked about the 2008 election. I believe I was
Um,
5 at the time, and it wasn't something I was too into. They weren't too overly into politics either. It wasn't until really 2012 they started talking more, but then 2016, and they really never said Trump this or Trump that. I kind of formed my own opinion around that.
mhm,
So probably around 2016, I became a little more Republican, libertarian. Then I
mhm,
reached maybe I would say maybe a year ago, I became actually conservative ideology wise
mhm.
and political wise.
And this is all while you're still going to high school, right?
Well, so 2016, I was in middle school and a girl wore a Hillary shirt. I wore a
Mhm,
Trump shirt.
mhm.
I don't know if I've told you this before, but I got punched in the back for wearing the Trump shirt in middle school.
Oh, wow. And yeah, I never heard about that.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
And
That's not right.
so,
That's really not good.
and teachers ruined my grades. Kids told me to die. And
Yeah,
that's when I really woke up to, damn, this is politics.
yeah.
And then high school hit, ninth grade.
Mhm.
And so they followed me there. A lot of kids wouldn't let that down. I was told to go die again, so I left high school in order to
Yeah,
go to online high school.
yeah.
And because of that, I just graduated online high school as 11th grade.
Okay, that's
But
probably a smart thing. Yeah.
mm-hmm,
Were you
yeah,
provocative, or was it just the shirt wearing, or
it
why
was
do you
just the
think
shirt.
what
I
was
I
going
didn't
on?
start anything
Yeah.
because my
Okay.
mom was like, "Don't do anything, Ariel.
Yeah.
For the love of God, don't
Yeah.
start anything."
Uh huh.
So I didn't say, "Here's the Trump shirt. Do
Uh huh.
something to me."
Yeah.
Kids saw it, took
Yeah.
took their own words with it. I let them lash out, and I didn't even lash out back to them.
Yeah.
So then it became they spread it around like she's wearing this. So I
Yeah.
didn't do anything. I may have
Uh
argued a lot, but I never
huh.
started it up.
You really have to be a certain kind of person to go against the grain and just
Hmm.
think the opposite of what everyone else is thinking.
Hmm. It was because I'm Bay Area, and
Mm.
so I thought my little town would be more conservative, but come to find out, it really wasn't.
Uh huh.
And so it was hard, but what was kind of a nice factor part of it is that kids came to me and said, "We agree with you,
Yeah.
but we won't say it." Because
Wow.
I didn't understand the whole, why do they hate me? Why
Yeah.
don't they like me for simply a different opinion? There was a project about, is feminism are women still oppressed?
Yeah.
And I said, no.
Uh
As a
huh.
woman, I'm not oppressed. I have nothing going against me. A
Yeah.
teacher gave me a 3 at first, which was the highest marking on that weird rubric. She whited it out, rewrote the 3 over it, and then
Mhm.
circled the 1 after
Wow.
she realized my opinion didn't fit
Uh.
her standards. It was an
Yeah.
opinion piece.
Uh huh.
So it was
But
it
not
was
the right
a fun
opinion.
time. Not the right opinion to her, no.
Yeah, and as Ben Shapiro says, that if you want to get good grades, you kind of want to go with the opinion of
Hmm.
the status quo. Is that something that you're thinking about doing, or will you still go on doing this manner, even though it is
Well,
kind of costing you, in terms of your grade?
yeah, so I'm about to go into community college this fall.
Yeah,
I don't know if it'll be in person, I don't know if it'll be online with COVID and all that,
yeah,
but that's one thing to think about is that
mm,
he even said it that at Stanford when we saw him. be quiet. Don't do anything. It's
Yeah.
not going to be good. And a
Yeah.
part of me is like, I need to follow that. I need to pass. I need to get that degree. I need to have money. I need to be smart. But then
Hmm.
the other part of me is like, this is who's teaching us. Actually, I had a friend in high school after I left tell us a teacher bashed everything conservatives stand for and called him Hitler. So
Yeah.
this is
Really. Uh-huh.
and so this is what teachers are teaching our students,
Yeah.
but we can't speak up against that or we get docked down. So
Yeah.
it'll take a lot for me to probably raise my voice because I know I'll have to take a um there's a social like racism class, I
Yeah.
guess,
Uh-huh.
in college. So unless something really bothers me, I'll probably speak up, but if it's not too much.
Okay. So how about this? I kind of go have the same kind of sentiments in terms of you're saying that are women oppressed, and you're saying no. And for me, it's since I'm brown skin, do I feel like there's a lot of racism against me? And then my answer is no. But also, just because it doesn't happen to me or doesn't happen to you,
Mhm.
do you believe that? Yeah, I mean, it does happen to some people, right? I mean, yeah,
Mhm.
sexism does exist, racism does exist, but maybe it's not on that rampant level as people say it is. So what do you think? Is it on the level that people say it is? Is it really just out there? Or is it that we have more video cameras and it's being captured? What's
I've been told my entire life, even in kindergarten, that women aren't as good as a female teacher told me this. Men are always going to be better than you. You're going to be below them. You're not going to even compare to them. And I
uh
always grew up thinking, damn, is that true? But then I realized no man has ever told me I can't do that. I
uh
can't do this. I can't get that job. No one's ever told me that. But they've made me believe that I was growing up.
uh
And I mean, I don't know how it is for other women. I can only speak from my perspective. But a lot of people that I know from my school, we've never been told because we're a woman we can't do something.
Do you
So
believe
I
that
mean,
kind
maybe
of
there are more cameras, but
yeah? But do you believe that being told that at such an early age, maybe it doesn't affect you now, but did it affect you negatively back then?
oh, definitely. I knew it's like it made you think, wow, I if I can't do that, then why am I living? Am I just gonna have to sit there and just accept it?
Hmm.
And I mean, putting that into an early age, it's indoctrination at that point. The school
Yeah.
really indoctrinated these girls to believe you're nothing, you're not gonna compare. When in
Hmm.
reality, as a 17-year-old, over 10 years ago,
Yeah.
I'm now having a page with a little over 1,000 followers. Not many, but
Yeah.
I'm a woman, so to them, I shouldn't be able to do that.
Yeah. And it's growing. You
And
have
it's
the opportunity.
hopefully.
Yeah. I,
hmm
I think it is. And it's really weird that they want to give you a mindset that says that you can achieve all these things, but in reality you can. So I'm not sure where that's coming from, to
hmm
be honest. And so what I did want to talk about is the lockdown. So we are locking down again, and it just seems counterintuitive. I think you did
hmm
have a post that says that we don't lock down for the flu, and I think that we don't the students are less likely to die from the flu are less likely to die from the coronavirus than the flu. So it doesn't
hmm
make any sense that they're actually locking down right now.
I mean, so I will say this: the CDC. I've always seen all these commercials about, well, if you have diabetes, if you have like heart disease, you're more likely to get the disease, COVID.
Yeah.
And the thing is, I'm type 1 diabetic, so it's a little different from type 2. You're not it's not from being overweight or sugar. It's actually much worse. I won't go into that, but
Uh,
it's not you're not going to get sick from COVID unless you're A1C. A lot of technical words, unless you're really unhealthy as a type 1 diabetic. So when they say diabetics, you're like, oh no, I'm in that category. So I sheltered for like a month and a half until I realized, wait, I'm not actually a part of that list when a doctor told me.
mhm.
So that I feel they wanted to instill the fear. And especially as a 17-year-old, I'm growing with a disability. They made me seem like I was the prime suspect to carry it. So, I
Yeah.
mean, kids aren't going to get sick. I mean, they are going to get sick, but when there's a 99.9% survival rate of a pandemic, I don't I don't buy it.
uh And I actually did summer school today, and we did reopen, and we try to do it as safely as we can. It was a little
Mhm.
chaotic, but not as chaotic as I thought it would be. So luckily, things went fine. And tomorrow I'll be back, and it's only a short day. But it does make it hard because we aren't able to do the things that we used to do. We can't sit together. they can't play recess together, and it just makes it more harder. And but they're the least likely to die from this virus. So
Hmm.
for me, I just don't think that closing in the fall would do any good, because the cost of closing down and not opening in the fall are going to be greater than if
Hmm.
we just lock down and supposedly save a few lives, and because we're going to lose lives either way.
Yeah.
Mhm.
See, the problem is, I think with that is that flu season is going to be coming up as well. Flu
Yeah.
season really hits around that October period of this year, and then actually hits around February for next
Uh-huh.
year. And we've been I've never heard about quarantining for this for the healthy people.
Yeah.
Because I'll be honest here, I think I had it in March, built the antibodies up. I just traveled for 4 days, got back, tight chest, self quarantined for 14 days, and was I had the tight chest, but I think I probably built up an immunity to it.
Uh-huh.
If you're going to lock people up, there's no immunity to be built there. Herd immunity is probably the best thing we could have right now, but because we've been sheltered, and I bet as going to schools and all that, the best thing to do is to get used to those um germs and all that, because you build it up. So I
Yeah.
think if we don't let kids go back to school, maybe
Uh-huh.
shorten three times a week, 4 times a week. I
Yeah.
don't know.
Mhm.
If you're gonna build it up, you'll have more of an immunity to it. So I think really honestly, schools should open
Yeah.
very soon.
Yeah, definitely. For me, it just doesn't really make sense to just keep everything down. So I really hope that they do open, and it doesn't make any sense.
Hmm.
And they say, it's based on facts, based on science, but they never posted links to the science that locking down again is gonna save all the
Hmm.
problems. Um, and so now we do have this thing with the Wayfair. How deep did you dig into this issue? Because the funny thing is that um, my parents wanted some shelves and a desk, and I just looked online, and it so happens that it was Wayfair, and I thought nothing of it because it was never in the news. I bought it, and then a month later, they're in the news, and it turns out that they might be stealing kids or something like that.
Hmm. I just checked my mail today. I got a Wayfair coupon.
Wow.
A little weird, a little weird. I'm like, oh no.
Yeah.
But so I have gone. I'm trying to dig very deep in it. It's a hard story if it is true. I
Yeah.
mean, I will pull the girl card out here really quick, and it's like I have a rare name, Arielle, spelled the way it is, and so if I got kidnapped and
Yeah.
sex trafficked, and a cabinet comes up as the Arielle cabinet for $11,000,
Yeah.
that's a little suspicious. And so it came out that one girl wasn't missing. Then it came out that I believe her name. I think it was Zhao Ping. I'm probably completely wrong about that. It was
Hmm.
on Amazon.
Hmm.
Like a storage unit or a table was $11,000. They found her after 5 days, and one girl was also found. But now it's also on Etsy. So
Hmm.
now it's hit Wayfair, Etsy, and Amazon.
Yeah.
I don't know what to believe because these names just so happen to be of kidnapped girls,
Okay.
and it's something a little odd. I don't know how to explain it because I'm a big theorist at heart, so I
Yeah.
want to believe it, but I'm like, but which there's a way up together. There has to be facts. There has to be speculation. So
Yeah.
it's very
And
odd. It's very kind of scary.
could it possibly be tied to the Epstein case? Because it's so funny that we have FBI, we have all these things to locate and track with cameras and also the NSA. But if it were true, then we would be able to find them, and but possibly maybe it's a whole thing with Epstein. Who knows? I mean, what do you think?
I mean, Soros. I don't know if Soros. I believe isn't a good guy. I mean, he has human rights violations in multiple countries, and he's not allowed into them.
Uh-huh.
So he has 46% of stock in Wayfair. The
Uh-huh.
Clintons also gave some money, I believe, or gave the Wayfair CEO something like that. I'm a little probably incorrect about this,
Uh-huh.
but they did something and awarded them. They
Uh-huh.
have a big thing in Haiti where a lot of kids went missing, and then they work with ICE, giving beds and like cloths and all those nice things. But a lot of kids go missing down at the border.
Okay.
So there's being tied now. Ghislaine Maxwell
Yeah.
was seen next to the CEO.
Uh-huh.
So it's not a good look for them. And I think it is coming out because of Epstein. People are more aware of sex trafficking than ever before.
Yeah, there
So,
was this thing in Canada where they actually got caught. I think that was I think very few
mhm,
years ago, and they actually did get caught. And
mhm.
So wait, so you're saying there is also a connection to the border and ICE in that
So
sense?
what I heard recently, a lot of kids go missing down at the border, and no one knows why because they're in the facility. And
Yeah.
I support ICE because they're keeping the border safe.
Uh-huh.
But again, their job is to protect these people and keep them safe. Where are
Yeah.
all these kids going? And we know the border has a big sex trafficking ring going on. So could there possibly be someone in there getting the kids out? I don't
Mhm.
know. That's just speculation on my end. I don't want to believe that, but yeah.
Uh-huh. So people want to just tear down America in terms of the beliefs, just like you said.
Hmm.
So what I want to talk about is that is the proper way to fix this to just completely tear down America, or is the values of America held to a certain? It is proper to have these values, but we have corrupt
Hmm.
people running the nation, and is maybe that's the reason why we can't have the nation that we really need.
So the problem is it's mostly a two-party system, and even though I'm a part of the Republican side, conservative side, I still believe in the two-party system. We're too fueled by the two-party system, and there's a lot of corruption on both sides.
Yeah.
I mean, Nancy Pelosi is worth like over a maybe million, like $40 million,
Uh-huh.
and that's a lot for a 20-year politician, or not even 20 years, maybe 30 years.
Mhm.
But it's just odd that a lot of these people are lining their pockets but not doing anything for us.
Mhm.
Especially the Democrats, they'll say, we'll help the black community, but they're not
Mhm.
helping them. And you hate to see it because you want to help, but
Mhm.
everyone's just lining their pockets during these times
Yeah.
and not caring because it's lobbying at that point.
Uh-huh. So what about in the sense that the government doesn't want to cut down the spending? I think I see it the way there's this episode of The Office where Michael Scott really has to spend this last amount of money, because if they said that they have this much amount of money and that's how much to save, then that's how much the budget is going to be for the next year. So they decide whether to get new chairs or get a printer. So I think that's what I see in terms of these
Hmm.
organizations. A new president comes in and they have to sell the idea that, okay, now this new president is in, we have to sell them that they still need our services, in terms of whether it's NSA or any other organization, that they have to sell the new president the idea that they still need to be there, even
Hmm.
though maybe whatever happened isn't needed anymore. And so that's what I see in terms of the government getting bigger. Do you see that as a problem as well?
I mean, the government is getting bigger, and that's usually when there's a big government, it usually means more power, and more
Mm-hmm.
power, less freedom to the people.
Mm-hmm.
I don't really look at that too much as I probably should.
Mm-hmm.
But if we start giving them more power, that means, I mean, government is power hungry.
Mm-hmm.
And when the founding fathers founded America, they wanted it to be American ran. They wanted it to be the public. And it
Yeah.
seems like I know, and I think Newsom had us vote on something here in California,
Mm-hmm.
and we voted yes. I think it was the death penalty. I could be wrong on that, but I think we voted yes, death penalty for like killers, rapists, all that. And he
Mm-hmm.
said, no, we're not going to do that. So even though we voted for it, he's like, I don't care about your vote. It's my way or the highway.
Mm-hmm.
And as bad as that is, government shouldn't be doing that.
Mm-hmm.
It's it's no longer the American people. It's more our way.
Yeah. Okay. Definitely. What I did want to talk about is what can Trump improve in the sense that is he doing a good job? I think even some conservatives would agree that maybe he's not the best person fit for the lockdown, or do you think he did
Hmm.
a good job during the lockdown? I think
I
there are some
think
positives and negatives as well.
I think he didn't. This is the first time I think anyone's really had to deal with this in the 21st century. Yeah, we had
Yeah.
Ebola, we had Well, I mean H1N1, I believe it was this swine flu.
Yeah.
I can't remember what that was.
Mm-hmm.
Obama didn't even declare it a national emergency, and more people have died, and
Uh-huh.
no one really batted an eye at that. But so I think Trump did a good job. No one's ever had to deal with the pandemic,
Mm-hmm.
lockdowns, and then Black Lives Matter protests at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
I know the reason I remember this because of my birthday, but he
Mm-hmm.
shut down travel from China. If he didn't do that soon, I feel like we would have more deaths.
Mm-hmm.
So I think honestly, I don't know if I'll get hate on this from people or what, but what can you do? Everyone thinks he'd be prepared for this, but
Mm-hmm.
I think he's taking on China the right way. So I think he did
Mm-hmm.
a pretty good job trying to start it and get it moving.
Do you think he will win this year for 2020? or
I
Kanye
think
West?
he will. I think he will. Kanye, you know what? I wouldn't be too upset with Kanye West, the birthday party as he calls it, which
Yeah.
I love that. I don't understand the name, but
Hmm.
I like it. It's good meme. I
Hmm.
know I know a lot of people, friends who are wanting to vote for him just for the meme, which
Hmm.
they're Democrats, so maybe that's good for us. I don't
Hmm.
know. But I think he'll win. Not by a landslide. I used to think by a landslide, but people are starting to look at Joe Jurgensen, Joe Biden, Kanye West.
Yeah.
But the thing is, you have to look at it as he's the one. He might not be the one you want, but he's fit for the job because
Uh-huh.
he's going to tell you what you don't want to hear.
Hmm.
He came in running in 2015 saying America's not doing so hot, and
Hmm.
I know I didn't like hearing that because this is where I'm from. It's the country I love.
Yeah.
But if someone's actually going to actively fix it and try to get us to help,
Hmm.
I think he'll win. Now
Hmm.
there are conservatives who don't like him,
Hmm.
which I don't know how I feel about that, but I could see a potential win. It's not going to be a huge landslide. So, but yeah.
Okay. And there is one issue that I did want to talk about, and the issue is this in terms of immigration. So ideally, we would want more Americans, not less, if we had the
Hmm.
opportunity, right? But
Hmm.
then we do spend a lot on these types of things that increase the budget in terms of how do you say welfare or
Hmm.
even Social Security. That we have all these programs that probably don't work, and if we reduce those programs, then we could allow more immigrants in, or what is the reason that we can't allow immigrants at the rate that we used to do back in the 1900s or the 1800s, where it really wasn't much. You just it wasn't much of a process, and then you just get in
Hmm.
and you either succeeded or failed. That was the American dream, and I think we used to believe that the American dream wasn't always going to be there, but it was for those who worked hard at it. Now it's kind of expected for everyone to achieve that dream and to be
Hmm.
given money. So where do you see, how can we have more immigrants in our society in this country?
I mean, America is the melting pot. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, it's this country that a lot of people come to for hope. I know a little kind of part about me is that my family came here around 1776 from Ireland. So they came
Okay.
here for that American dream of like,
Yeah.
let's get out, let's do this. And they were part of building this nation. So I have ties to this and all this.
Yeah.
But so I don't know exactly because we're really filling up. And it's not, I wouldn't say overpopulation, just
Yeah.
there's so much immigration going on and
Uh-huh.
so many people having kids, welfare systems and all that. I don't exactly know how we could do that.
Mm-hmm.
I It's one of those toughies right there because we give a lot of people a lot of stuff, but they don't. It's almost like they don't return the favor. If you
Mm-hmm.
remember, think like the way I look at the welfare system is that we should help them, but make sure they're on the right track.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like if we could help immigrants coming over get on the right track, build that American dream, that white picket fence dream that everyone has coming out here,
Mm-hmm.
I think it'd be great because what's not to love about that?
Mm-hmm. Thank you again, Ariel, for
Thank you.
joining the podcast.
Thank you.
And can you give people your social media, your Instagram, and any other place they can find you?
Hmm. So, social media, so Instagram, Twitter. I'm on Parlor now, trying to build that up. But so Instagram, I believe, is Arielle.early. Twitter is Arielle_early. And then same goes to Parlor. Not really big on Facebook. I'm on Facebook, but Twitter and Instagram are just Arielle early.
Okay. All right. Thank you so much.